very warm welcome back to Shanghai for live coverage of the Dota 2 Asia Championships 2017. We're in day 2. If you've missed the action yesterday, where were you? Disgraceful behaviour. But luckily you've joined us today for day 2, where things are hotting up in both groups A and B. Quick reminder for you, 12 of the best teams in the world gunning for the top 2 places in Group A and Group B for a chance to play in the upper bracket semi-final of the main event, which starts in 4 days from now. That's right, we have a 2-day break in between. Tomorrow is the final day of the group stages. We'll also have the quarterfinals of the 1v1s. We're going to move into our third series of the day. We've got Shiva and PPD back on the couch area to discuss our next matchup, which is a big match for both teams. Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid. Have we got a fan person for each?
Sure.
She's from Europe.
I'm from Europe.
Yeah,
Liquid's
I think that
from
works,
Europe.
doesn't it?
That works that way?
Sure. Yeah, why not? 2-0 EG. Let's go.
Right then, let's get to the match. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Yeah. In all seriousness, Peter, you must have been much happier after seeing their performance earlier today.
Yeah, I'm an EG fan, so seeing them play well is nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. That even if I wasn't, like, they're a really good team, and a lot of people have high expectations for them. So it's really nice to see them kind of live up to their potential rather than just be kind of disappointing and underwhelming.
Yeah. Tricky group this one, Shiva, because now we've got IG sitting on 5 points. We've got EG on 4. We've got Newbie on 4. We've got IGV on 4. And if Liquid somehow win these 2 games, they're on 4 as well. That would be crazy.
Definitely tiebreaker potential coming out
we're
from
all
Group
like,
B.
please no tiebreakers tomorrow, because we will have the tiebreakers tomorrow if we need them. So, yeah, but they need a win. In all seriousness, Liquid need a big win here because they've only got a point.
They've been struggling yesterday. Their first series up against IG. We had a bit to talk more to talk about, or at least longer to talk about Liquid yesterday, as the draft story began for this one. But Liquid typically does very well against European teams, or Western teams I should call, because Chinese teams, they don't practice against that a lot. We saw that Star Ladder, the only games they dropped were against a Chinese team. We saw it yesterday where they only got 1 win out of 2 Chinese opponents they had. This is going to be their first Western opponent, and I think they're ready, Peter. I think they can do this.
Do you think it suits them better, Peter?
Who, for Liquid?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. It's weird. It's like a weird event because Chinese Dota has always been, at least recently, not too good. But this event, it seems like they are doing really well. And Group B has been, we have like no idea who's going to be on top still. So this match is definitely huge for both of the teams. I think EG comes out strong this series. They do well. It's very likely they're going to be top 2. But if they do kind of fall flat, then they got a big match tomorrow to hopefully get there. And
try and get back
we've been talking about teams like kind of fighting for that top 2 spot. Like even like not even top 2 will give them a better seed, which will put them up against a weaker opponent. So even if you're not fighting for top 2, you're still fighting for something.
Yep, absolutely. There is something to fight all the way through. All 6 positions. Just looking at the draft right now.
It's going fast.
It is going very fast. Centaur, Terrorblade, Dazzle, Lifestealer. What do you make of that, Peter, so far?
Terrorblade is a hard counter to Lifestealer, so not too bad. Nakes has no way of dealing with illusions, and we kind of have like what we saw yesterday with NP and EG is that Lifestealer up against Centaur. So I imagine they might do something similar, try to roam a bit with the 2 supports, win some other lanes.
Everyone, I'm sad that Invoker got banned now, but
first
I guess
2 by EG.
It is Liquid would pick it first 2. I don't think that EG would do that for Samil, but Liquid would definitely for Miracle.
There's the Slardar.
We saw yesterday. It was the only game they won as well.
So we've Lifestealer Slardar now against Terrorblade. It's like Terrorblade's actually one of the better heroes against this combination. I think it's very likely that Liquid's going to pick some sort of defensive support here. So as long as you can save Terrorblade from initially being bursted down and allow him to get his Sunder off, then EG might have a lot of trouble.
There's a big respect ban on the Earth Spirit as well in round 1 from Team Liquid.
Yeah, I don't know how much they played. I think, who plays it on Liquid? GH or Kuroki?
GH, I think, but they haven't played it that much themselves.
Yeah, it's not like a standout hero like it is for a lot of other teams.
Yeah, and we have seen Crit played a lot.
Definitely.
But you're saying saving supports, and Dazzle is already on the side of EG. Io is already banned out. Warlock banned out. Do you consider Crystal Maiden a saving support?
No, I don't.
Okay, so what's left?
Vengeful Spirit, Winter Wyvern, Shadow Demon.
Would you say they all fit in what Liquid has so far?
I mean, I don't like them that much pairing with Crystal Maiden. Venge could be okay with Crystal Maiden, but we've seen a lot of Crystal Maiden at this tournament, and I have been a huge fan of the hero. So it'll be interesting to see like why they picked it up and why they think it's going to be nice here.
Another huge surprise to see the Darkseer come out after the Slider.
Yeah, so we're going to have that 4-position Slardar for Zai, and then Universe is going to play that Darkseer. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and we
They
know
like
those
that a lot.
combinations.
Yeah, they like that a lot as well,
It's
don't
good.
they?
Slardar is like, we don't really see a lot of core Slardar anymore. He's really kind of support, and in the same way with like Earth Spirit, he just kind of pairs well with Darkseer, especially in the early game. And Slardar is one of those supports that needs like Tranquil Boots and a Blink, and he's set. He's
Is
ready
that
to
a
go.
saving
A Necro.
mid-ish?
That's a first.
I mean, you're not going to play Necrophos support.
I think it's possible for it to be a Terrorblade mid
Okay.
as well, and then I don't know. I think Necrophos. Who does better in lane against Darkseer? I think Necrophos might.
Well, with Crystal Maiden, Terrorblade could do just fine. Yeah, Frostbite the...
Yeah, but
Ion
if
Shot
you're
creep.
frostbiting the Ion Creep, then you're not doing anything to the Darkseer.
It's true.
Because Crystal Maiden's gonna right click a Darkseer who has the shield,
Yeah,
and she's gonna do like
nothing.
18 damage a click or something, which is
Nothing.
put offset with some regen there, Tango regen. He's doing like 10 damage a click, not even. So
Necrophos safe lane, or rather, depending on where EG puts their lanes, Necrophos against Darkseer, you think that's a better option?
I don't know what's a better option. I have to wait and see what their last pick is,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that the support options, it's so. I imagine like it's weird when you last pick your support hero. I'm not a huge fan of it, especially I think who had first pick in this game. I think EG did.
EG did, yeah.
They first picked the Lifestealer, so Team Liquid has chosen to save their very last pick of the game for their support hero, which is pretty uncommon, and I don't think it's very good.
EG has last pick.
EG has last pick.
Because EG already banned, so Liquid's going to ban and then pick
Okay.
EG.
Cool. So it was first pick Centaur and then Dazzle Lifestealer. Okay. Kind of came in late.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we
we
all did, so...
Cool. Okay, so that makes more sense. I guess they were potentially worried about Necrophos being banned, I suppose. They're a team that has played it before.
Yeah.
I think Matumba Man will likely play it, and then Miracle will play the Terrorblade. But from what I've seen of Liquid this tournament is Miracle's playing a lot of safe lane, or like a lot of side lane, and Matumba Man's been going mid.
What I've also seen this tournament is that Liquid's not doing great.
That's true.
Perhaps there's a correlation there.
Yeah,
We'll
he
see.
did only have, I think he was given the Invoker in one game yesterday, which they won.
Yeah. They won handedly.
Yeah.
It was 23-0-12. Something
Yes.
outrageous like that.
Yes. But we know that he's not just a one hero.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
he's
no,
got
true.
a fair amount that he can play at a high level. So
Last pick Sumail hero. Hype.
yeah, he's happy. He knows.
Alchemist still in the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, they've
I'm not sure
beaten
they'll go back.
anti-mage
Will they
today.
go back for the Elk, Peter? After not
I don't know.
doing very well yesterday with it, and then
It's not the best hero up against Terrorblade and Necrophos, I think.
yeah,
I'm curious what Sumail will play.
He already made the okay
Lich.
sign there.
Lich.
Lich! Is that a saving support?
It's not, but the ice armor is nice.
I
and
mean, it helps.
It is useful.
Offsets
Centaur
the
could,
Corrosive Haze?
if they can take the game long enough, Centaur could just get Ags and can save people with that.
So where does Sumail go now?
I think
What
we're
do we
going
want
to
him on?
see a hero that he's not, that he doesn't play a lot. I'm trying to think maybe Dragon Knight. I know it's like pretty out there.
We have Sim one already.
But
today.
yeah, we don't often see Sumail in that hero.
No. Instead of Lena.
Okay, Lena's cool.
Okay.
That's a hero that Sumail used to play all the time back at, I think it was last DAC.
Yeah.
It was Lena Lesh meta.
Yeah,
When
that's
he
the one.
first came out to China.
Yeah,
When
he's
he
very
first
dominant.
announced himself. Yeah, indeed. All right, thank you very much, Peter and Shiva. Well, of course, we'll catch up with them after our first game. Which way's this going then? Let's hand it over to our commentary team for Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid.
This should be one hell of a game. And I'm happy to be here with Ben Malini, the Prophet Wu.
What?
Who saw the Lena coming in at the very end.
We watched TI5.
We
It was
did.
all about the Lena.
Yeah,
And
we
they-
also watched the earlier games from today where the Lena was just ripping. From yesterday where the Lena was just ripping apart in the mid.
I think Lena's really good here because they needed something versus the Ghost Shroud, and they need some AoE clear for the Terrorblade, and
Yep.
kind of fits both bills. And it's a Sumail hero, so also pretty good.
We should be happy we're actually casting a game where there's clearance for a Terrorblade.
Yeah, most of the games, Terrorblade just wins super easily.
Yeah.
No one can do anything about it. It's ridiculous.
We saw it in our series we cast early today on the second stream, and that was where we had the VS, which the panel was looking for something like that saving support, and it was like, okay, you initiate the Terrorblade, and then you're swapped away. And that a game actually, you're also up against a Lifestealer, so the kiting was huge in that as well. Now you add Lich, so now you add Frost Armor into it, the slow attack, the potential Frost Blast, and the fear of, I don't know if you're going to fear Chain Frost that much. Like, where does the Lich actually fit in?
Ice Armor versus
everything.
Lifestealer and Slaughter. They thought
That's it?
Well, they could have potentially all-in committed for physical damage. EG did have last pick, but they still could have picked, like, let's say TA Slaughter, or Shadow Fiend, for example, too.
Yeah.
These heroes are pretty decent, but don't synergize terribly well against the Terrorblade. So Shadow Fiend probably would have been a little bit better, I would say, if they actually wanted to get it. But, yeah, when you see that much armor, Terrorblade, ton of armor, Lich, and Ghost Shroud too. You don't really want a physical damage base because their lineup aside from that is just Ion Shell pretty much. That was pretty much the only magical damage they had before this pick.
Yeah. So the Lina kind of fills up a little bit more of that. But you're right. Like I'm thinking more and more about it as Team Liquid get tankier and tankier with Necro plus even the Centaur. So do they have enough sustained damage? EG, like do you have to turn the Lina into this kind of physical DPSer going into the game and just use the mid-game magical burst damage that she offers?
Sorry, I was distracted by Zai's effigy.
Yeah, don't. We're not going to bring that up on stream because we're good people.
It's in the game, dude.
It's, yeah, fantastic. So people who are listening to us on Dota TV can go click on that. Meanwhile, we'll be appropriate. Why am I being the appropriate?
I'm just
one out of
echoing
us?
Zai's sentiments. Now everyone's curious.
Yeah,
Look what you've done to it.
You won't be able to do it. Maybe later on they'll show us the wonderful effigy. But that wasn't meant to be it. That was meant to be, I saw on Reddit, it was meant to be a Bloodseeker one, not that.
I like this one more personally.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Now we're actually showing it. So thank you very much, Weppers, who is our observer for the game.
Which block is it that is red? Heroic Effigy of the Fall 2016 Battle Pass, level 2. Interesting. Anyways.
Yeah. Back to the game. So no surprise really coming out from Evil Geniuses. They are going to be pretty standard with their lanes. The only thing they're changing up a little bit is the fact they're putting Dark Tier up on the top lane and letting Arteezy and Crit run that duel off. Potentially even Tri-Lane off, but I doubt Zai's going to hang around there for too long. He's probably just there to contest the rune.
Yeah, and they can also pressure the Terrorblade in the mid, I think, very easily. Lina, one of the better ones, just tons of damage, tons of range, and can easily harass the Terrorblade, especially if there's a setup stun from the Slaughter in the back. So bottom lane will be EG's rune, and looks like the top right-click war went to Mind Control.
Victory.
Victory is his.
Yeah.
You see how Terrorblade has a different color?
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, we had the white Arcana in our series earlier today, for those who were tuning in for us then.
White is not the correct term that you could search on the Steam market for, Toby.
What was the correct term?
I think
it was a 50
crystalline something.
A $50 gem is what it was.
You sound so disdainful of cosmetic buyers.
It's like I'm gonna spend so much money so I can glow a different color. To rub yourself.
Some of them look way cooler though. Some of them have like unusual effects, and it's not just color. There's particle effects too, Toby.
Let's add more of those. When I can change the color of my Enigma, I will spend a lot of money on it.
There is already one for the Enigma, the black hole.
No, yeah, but the black hole is just the same color. Like I want to have
It's
the
golden.
gem.
How's it gold? One's black, one's golden. It's called black hole, Toby. Gold is different.
That's not enough. And technically, the original one was blue.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist, and I'm gonna make it better.
Maybe you play on like super low graphics or something.
Yeah, because I only play on a potato machine. I don't get to have nice things. Anyway, back in the game. So the lane's still going pretty much as expected. Kuro, okay, he's forced a little bit out of position now, having to run down the river, but he's got the movement speed on Zai and Simel, just couldn't connect on the Light Strike array. So Kuro will get hit once by Zai, and then be away to safety. But Kuro just trying to make life very difficult for Simel in the early game. Actually, his GH, they don't really have enough damage here to kill off Zai, and Zai does know that. He's already going to go for the regeneration. But just more harassment to push him out of their jungle.
I think it's important that the Lich does deny the mid lane, though. Top lane is a one-on-one. You don't really need to upset the balance of it. Centaur will be fine. Darkstone will be fine. You're only just going to pretty much deny the one creep and not change the state of the lane. I think in the mid lane, Lina is already slightly favored, and they're trying to get some kills.
Well, what a wonderful counter to a lifestealer, having that Ghost Form, but maybe not enough life. Matolman back out of the tower, Fairy Fire committed, and the last bit of damage, he drops to 9 HP, but will still survive.
Wow.
Salve intact too, so he's going to still be able to stay in the lane.
He canceled that right click on the lifestealer. That would have been a kill.
Obviously not as far in the bag as Arteezy thought it was.
Yep. No Blightstone or Orb of Venom. I do like the orbs. The stacking slows, the Poison Touch and the orb is quite nice, and the Blightstone on pretty much.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't even buy that from the side shop anymore.
Sometimes I guess you can start off with it, but I guess Crit wouldn't because he's support. He did start off with a Windlace, so Windlace for Blightstone, maybe. I don't know. It's debatable. It depends on what you think you're going to be doing a lot.
Yeah. Well, Mind Control's getting some decent levels up on the top lane. 4 levels in 3 minutes, not too shabby. Even the CS, like 11 for 2.
Zai has no home. Where is this big fishy going?
Well, he's meant to be synergizing with the Darkseer. That was the purpose of it. But normally that synergy works when you run the off lane, not on the safe lane.
You can't kill a Centaur.
Yeah.
You'll just stun and run away.
Yeah.
And there's that shrine still up, so.
Yeah, what else can you really do? Like stand next to him and just try and Iron Shell burn him down? That's only going to work once the Darkseer hits level like 2 or 3.
Yeah, he just needs to get some levels. He is not level 2 yet on Zai. Just keep getting bounty runes. Try and deny that from the opposite team if you can. But we do see Zai purchase a smoke along with his boots. Soul Ring already picked up by Universe too. I see that coming on Chicken. A lot of stuff on that.
But Topman's being initiated again. But GH is in the neighborhood. So very happy to turn around if he can. Arteezy. He's not going to be able to bait that rage up. But Arteezy's now sitting at a point too where 185 mana to get his combination off, both rage as well as that open wounds. He doesn't have enough anymore.
He might need a stick early in the lane too, because when you're up against a Crystal Maiden team, I think stick gets even more value, especially because every time you use open wounds on the Necrophos, he's gonna Ghost Shroud, so you need some return for
It's
your
good positioning
investment.
from Crit. Now, that Dire Observer Ward saw this smoke coming. So Crit moves up. He actually tanks the initial Frost Blast. There's 3 Kuros, and GH also there to help out. Matubman staying in close, and it will be first blood. So EG, they saw this coming. They willingly kept Crit there, and now it's up to Miracle to survive up against Zai. Even with the mirror, it won't be enough. Zai will barely survive as he slithers away from the mid lane, and he found a home.
That was a good smoke. I didn't exactly see his positioning, but it was very important that he actually did something. Yeah, he can stack and pull on top, but he had already exhausted the 3-minute pool, and there wasn't that much for him to do after grabbing the bounties. So that's a good kill. They'll get something in return for the first blood. And Zai actually moving down to the bottom lane. Looks like Dazzle will be TPing to the shrine. I like how he TPs to the shrine too. In case they need some more backup, it's faster to TP to the T1, faster and closer.
And when you bring Universe down here, so what is gank into lane switch? As GH very quickly on the Frostbite, but Arteezy going to rage up, and there's your crush. They want Matubman. Has to go into Ghost form, starts his TP, but Universe, the early point up in Vac, is able to cancel that one out. Matubman will fall. 4 heroes from EG. They come in force. They take the kill.
They also cancel his TP, so he is going to need a long time to get back to lane.
Can GH? Oh, GH should be able to stay on the lane still.
You still want your Necrophos to get a lot of farm, though. Necrophos, I think, needs to be very big in this particular game. Looks like he's just eyeing for HP with the Belt of Giant Strength.
That TP finally comes in. Like all that time I was thinking like, oh, Necrophos not farming up in the bottom lane, but no one from EG went straight to top lane. Now Lifestealer will move up there. So Arteezy will have that safe lane farm to build into Armlet and whatever else his heart desires.
We've seen a lot of the Lifestealer versus Terrorblade commit for all physical, which I am actually pretty against in this situation. I like the Maelstrom build a lot more. I think it scales a little bit better because you can just kneel near yourself later and walk in with Rage and do a ton of damage, and it helps with your main issues.
That's a level 2 Frost Blast. They're going to commit the Stampede to try and catch up to Zai, looking for that extra bit of damage as well, but Zai back up into the lane. No support was coming to help him out. But they do burn Stampede Team Liquid in a hunt for just that 4-position slaughter.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot committed for them. And
meanwhile, the mid lane stays safe.
Terrorblade's gone to the jungle, so even if they do want to gank mid, it's not going to be a big kill. And Sumail's not able to get as much farm as he would like just because of this constant harass and denying.
Oh, this is just like, it's the jealous sister who brings a friend to actually help win the mid fight. Fire versus ice.
Sorry, I was
I
looking
know,
at cosmetics.
I know. I look over to your screen and all I see is you just looking at
Yo.
Sumail's cosmetic.
He has the new Laguna Blade icon. I was like, what is that Laguna Blade icon? But apparently
it-
it's from a cosmetic.
It does look pretty epic. It's like this. It's almost like an Iron Man like shield thing in the chest. Mind Control, a little bit of damage. They're trying to slow him down, and Mind Control very smartly starts his TP. If he waited any longer, he would have died to the rotation from Sumail. Instead, that'll be up to GH to do. Running away, Zai close behind, but Sumail still has enough physical damage to do the work all by himself.
Sumail's also going for the different build. We've seen almost exclusively Arcane into Soul Ring into Bloodstone, but he's going for the phase boost. So more right click. A lot of times when we have seen the Lina, there has been some way to buff up her damage. This game, Amplify, I guess it's just about it. But
Oh, the run forward. Again, the Stampede going to be used, and nothing Zai can do about that. Goro will be the man to get the last hit. A little bit of a chase from GH to Sumail. GH able to deny up the regeneration rune at the 6-minute mark, and now at the 8-minute mark, unable to deny the double damage rune for the Lina. But yeah, Bloodstone Lina, the immortal Lina, is going to be what we've seen through most of the tournament. Now she is going to go in for that Yule Scepter with the face boots.
I like Eels a lot versus Stampede. It's also really good against the Necrophos, too, and deal with them during the Ghost Route. Also dispels a lot of the minor stuff too. Ice armor will get rid of.
Mind Control trying to cause some issues for EG. He's got a little bit of help floating around. It's mainly Kuro who's back up next to Secret Shop. And Mind Control's going in very deep. He leaves the Radiant Observer Ward behind, so he's got at least a little bit of a warning system if someone does run at him. But without the Stampede, Mind Control could be in trouble. Just commit the Laguna Blade. Sumail with a double damage rune knows he's got enough damage to kill off that Centaur.
He was in really, really deep, and Centaur actually going back for the Hood build too. So no early blink coming out from them. He definitely wants to tank up. And Hood only for Double Edge and Lina pretty much. So I'm a little surprised to actually see him commit for the full Hood instead of just a casual cloak or go for the blink rush. But it also helped him farm a lot more. He'll have
Help him when Darkseid is ever in his lane.
Yeah, that's true. Ion Shell is definitely something to worry about.
And it has been the standard build anyway. He can convert it into a pipe later on if they feel the desire.
I don't think you need pipe this game. There's not any big AoE ultimates that you're worried about. Wall, I suppose, but Wall doesn't do any magic damage.
GH. He doesn't have his ulti yet, so it's not a guaranteed kill, but they got a hell of a lot. Actually, they do have Matamas, but he doesn't have mana. He's short by 10 points of mana. Even with a Crystal Maiden on the field, Universe will start off his TP. Oh, they lost the sight of him! Walked into the corner. Not certain if Frostbite was up, but it's a pretty good chance it was.
That's what happens when you click a little bit past him. I think he clicked like a little bit to the southwest and then like tried to path in there, and then he ran outside. He didn't actually like click small increments into where he thought he might hide. He didn't actually think he'd TP right there.
That's a good get out of jail free card for a Darkseer. Now Sumail with the Iron Shell burst. Matubberman.
Wow, he was so close to popping the Ghost Shot before the Laguna. Nice try though to
He
get
waited
the
it.
Ion Shell on him before.
It's like Zai's also ready to dive in here. He knows there's no support coming in from the jungle thanks to the Observer Ward. Now GH comes up. He still has his Frostbite plus his Nova, so he can keep Slider slowed up. But that Arcane Rune, you just keep moving forward. Another Crush available. A 6-second cooldown on that thing, and GH will fall with the help of Crit and Universe. A lot of pressure being applied by EG on the bottom, but Miracle, the Terrorblade. Normally we're talking about Terrorblades forcing down buildings really early on, but we're 11 minutes in and still no Tier 1 tower fallen. He's just playing it very consistent, very safe, and still sitting at #1 in the net worth.
They're trying to eke them out in the experience department. It's pretty close in terms of net worth, but experience, Radiant side is pretty far ahead because Terrorblade shifted to the jungle, so someone's taking the lane, and they have to sacrifice on the Lich. So it's not looking great in the.
Is that when you look to see like
scoreboard.
EG then start to invade the jungle more? Maybe that's what Universe is.
Once Lina's
coming over
ready,
to do.
Lina needs her Yules before she can. it's not great to fight before your Yules. I guess you can get some like now and then, but it's just not going to be as easy and simple and guaranteed.
So the pressure is actually on Lina to do the attacking, because we're looking at Arteezy farming top lane, building into Echo Saber next.
Well, the other
he's getting a lot of space there, but when does that money become utilized into kills?
Once Slaughter gets Blink, but Slaughter's support. He's had to run around a lot and die for his team, so that's when you need the Lina to create a little bit of space. But she has a haste rune, probably can make big plays off that.
Stampede being triggered. More of a defensive thing as Kuro is being approached by Zai.
But you notice Zai doesn't even have a Quelling Blade, and definitely not an Iron Talon. So you can see they were wanting to get gold through kills and not farm up the map at all. And he can even Ion Shell the Slardar if they want to get some more last hits on him, but I don't think that's their game plan at all. They want to try and take advantage of Terribly while he's still weak.
That's a good observer, Ward. It scouted out the fact that Sumail is rotated down to the bottom lane. So again, the Tubberman is forced into the tree lines. The Centaur TPing in, and they've got the control. It's in the form of the Crystal Maiden. She needs to get the Frostbite off as Sumail gets a double stun. Lacuna Blades out. Able to bring down the Crystal Maiden, but now Sumail is on the run. The Chain Frost, it only really gets the slow out of it. Another TP being used, but Tubberman committing the ultimate. They need another stun, however, and they actually have the damage instead from Mind Control with a double edge to kill off Sumail, ending that dominating spree of his.
Another good thing about Lina this game is that her talent can innately counter the Reaper's Scythe. And she's a core, so she's actually quite likely to get Reaper's Scythe this game. Grave can save you, but let's say Grave doesn't, you can be back in 30 seconds. And unfortunately for Sumail, Lina was not level 10. She was like level 9 and like 90% of the way through right before that fight.
And the hand of Midases begin. I think we had our first one, if I saw correctly, over on Necro. Yep, but Tubberman's already got his, and I think Kuro was also having one in his quick buy at the moment. So Team Liquid are ready to batten down the hatches and just win this game on experience and gold still. And they're going to get a big injection of money once the towers start dropping, aka when Terrorblade really starts pressing the issue.
I don't really mind that philosophy from Liquid. I think it's...
Oh, crit. Gets away from the hoof stomp, hides under the cover of the Invis rune, and just for safety, he even ran into the pit.
I think it's the right approach from Liquid, that all they need to worry about is the Terribly getting big. And once he gets like Manta plus Butterfly or Manta Scotty, something like that, then they'll be near unstoppable in the team fights just because they don't have enough firepower to deal with the illusions.
All right, so GH now has found the perfect way to counter push on his creep way on the lane. Okay, maybe not perfect, but it works.
Yeah, it works. They were looking to set up potentially for a kill there. They also have good vision on the right side of the map, so they could easily smoke behind, and I think he's a little bit worried about that.
That's a lot of pressure on the top, and you see the line actually being drawn out. Crystal Maiden just draws out and says, you know what, guys, like anything north of this line is really not safe for me at the moment. EG could be hunting anywhere around that secret shop area into the tier 1 tower, and they do have 4 people in position. The only one not present is going to be Universe in the bottom lane on that Darkseer. Sumail and Arteezy can do more than enough work just to go tower after tower, but the mid lane pressure is also arriving from Team Liquid, and Sumail already there to return. An attack in. If Mind Control was thinking about a blink, then it instantly got cancelled when the salve connected.
Mind Control's quite farmed. He has Hood and the...
Oh, now this one's easier. Blink forward. But Tubberman potentially could have thrown down the ulti for that, but they let it go. Basic kill for Mind Control.
Not super important for him. But they're just taking it slow. They're, I guess, up in the other metrics. Maybe not so much net worth, but the Midas will start kicking in pretty soon. I don't know. Lich is kind of strange in that aspect too. You're like really strong in the early game, but your talents are like pretty lackluster. The right-click build is just atrocious.
What,
it sounds good, but
it was fantastic before, right?
It was never there before. No,
really?
It sounds good in theory, but it's just so awful. There's so many things that just stop Lich from being a good right-clicker. That, like, no matter what items you get, I think a 6-slotted Lifesteal will always be able to just manhandle a 6-slotted Lich. Like, no question about it. So it's just not that great. I wonder what talents he is going to go for, though.
EG want to keep pressuring right now in the mid. They've already committed their weave to this. It's going to wear off in a couple of seconds. GH is the one that they could potentially jump on just because they had the vision of the high ground. There was good patience from the Slaughter, making sure he didn't just amplify up the Crystal Maiden, because it would have revealed the high ground vision.
They just need to get the blink on Slaughter. They need the kills to be quick and clean. If they go, if it takes too long for them to get the kills, then Terrorblade will be able to think about potentially like even a defensive Sunder could save someone from like a Lina combo, or Centaur's gonna stampede in and counter initiate. They just need like a quick blink, crush, infest kill. If they try to set up with a Yules, that's 2.5 seconds too long for the setup.
I'll give him one of those camps as well as the bounty rune, and he'll have it. It's only 200 gold to have that blink dagger.
Feeds eye.
If it's possible. GH is just playing in the trees on that top lane. He's so close to Arteezy. If he gets caught out, okay, he just throws the ulti out. Arteezy will take the damage and look for the fight. Mind Control now running forward. Arteezy, that rage. Oh, the Necro ulti's going to be there. They'll cancel off the TP. With the double edge, they'll find the kill. Was GH the ultimate bait?
Yeah, I like the way he's using his freezing field. There's not any team fights going on. It's not like he doesn't really. It's not like he needs it for that. He could farm neutrals with it, but he's pushing out the lanes and pressuring the Lifestealer. Lifestealer doesn't have a free place to farm. It's got baited in. Only actually, there's 2 ways to stop the Rage TP too, with the Chain Frost in the game. So, not the safest game for Lifestealer to farm out. Far, far away from his team.
Samal is just wishing he can find pickoffs like that.
Okay, there's the Blink Dagger. This is time.
Yep, but they just smoked right on top of the Observer Ward. So, while the time might be nice, Team Liquid can be very prepared for this. They have a dire Observer Ward up, so EG had the vision. They see that Matumbaman is lagging behind at the moment. They're trying to pick off the back of the pack. Is there some kind of saving? Matumbaman goes into Ghost form. More support is there, but with a Hofstopper double edge, Zai is unhealthy. Crit tries to keep him up. They can turn this one around now. Team Liquid, they turn their attention towards Arteezy. Zai back in with a crush. They're doing the damage, but it's into a Mind Control, who just got his Stampede back off cooldown. As they scurry themselves, Team Liquid back past their own Tier 2 tower.
That was a really tough call from EG. They saw the heroes running away, so they knew that Liquid knew, but they tried to actually catch them off guard with the massive movement speed from the Slaughter. He had Sprint on him, he had Smoke on him, and then he eventually had Surge on him too. So the timing from the Smoke was a little bit earlier than Liquid anticipated. But the trade-off is that your team is not close to you. So like Lina was nowhere to be found to get that little bit of extra burst on a Necrophos. But
Liquid are coming. Liquid had the Observer Ward out the front of the pit, so they understand what's actually happening. Mind Control. This is a lot of patience. Roshan's almost down. Now the Hoofstop and double edge. Roshan so low on life. He'll clap down. Mind Control's dying. The Laguna Blade will actually kill him off, meaning that EG will secure Roshan. Maybe GH. No, the interruption. The vac will pull him down. Matumbaman does have the space to get back up towards the Radiant Ancients, and GH with his control. Kuro, no ultimate available, so he'll take the stun as well as the death for Team Liquid. The Tier 1 tower not close enough to give him that protection. And Samael will have the double kill. EG claim Roshan and Aegis.
there was no follow-up from Liquid. Necrophos doesn't have a Blink Dagger because he did go for the Midas, and that trade-off was huge in that. If he could have blinked and Reapered anyone inside the pit, either the Lina or the Lifestealer, I think they would have come out pretty far ahead in that fight, because then they can't burst down the Necrophos because he has all of that regeneration going for him. Also, Lina misclicked Yules on herself during that fight, and that could have potentially led to like 3 kills instead of just 2.
Still haven't felt Terrorblade. Like, that fight happened without him. Terrorblade just stayed inside the jungle, farming the entire time.
Generally, Terrorblade's fight once they get Manta style, and I think he's very close to that Manta style. I think, yeah, he just picked it up, so now he'll be ready to fight. It's a really big increase in damage once you get that.
Do you actually force it yourself? Like, for now, it seems to be EG who have been the ones smoking. They've been going around. Like, they went in for Roshan, so they are the ones to initiate that. Obviously, Liquid don't really have a great Roshan lineup, but is this the point when Liquid just say, you know, we force down a lane? Like, I see the ping coming to the Tier 1 tower at the top lane. Is that the next place it goes? You just mow down lane after lane and wait for EG to engage into you?
I think you take at least 1 tower with the Terrorblade. You might not even have to commit meta. It depends on if you have to commit meta or not. If they're not defending with anything, you can just go for 2. But it's very risky because Lina did not go for the respawn timer.
Yeah.
It's you know,
is different to most of the leaners we've seen, but most of those leaners have also been coming out from the Chinese teams.
Yeah, he's much more aggressive. I'm not gonna die.
Still building Bloodstone though, but
he does have the Grave to help him out a lot. So
yeah,
I think that's a.
So the trade-off is you just get the Light Strike Array, but that could bite you in the butt later in the game.
It does help you two-shot creep waves though. Normally you need to Light Strike and Dragon Slave a little bit more.
And so that push is coming on the top, and Metamorphosis still has not been committed by Miracle.
Yeah.
Just illusion spam after illusion spam. EG is not getting involved.
Fighting into Aegis is just not a terribly wise idea.
They're actually TPing out. So EG is just running through the Radiant jungle, so they'll let the illusions and the catapult do the damage into the tier 2 tower, and then prepare their own defense Team Liquid. And Zai wants to fight. The infested Lifestealer sitting inside the Slardar, but they need the opportunity, they need the vision, which they don't have on that part of the tower. They'll get it when Matubberman jumps forward like that, but then Horfstop, Arteezy already raged up the Stampede. Matubberman will survive. The Vac almost killing him with the damage on the wall, but it isn't enough. Zai has to take the Shallow Grave as he was taking the tower too much. And then Miracle, now he'll commit the Metamorphosis.
That was really risky by Liquid. They didn't even have the Frost Armor on the Necrophos before that fight started. But he has all that burst heal with the Ghost Shroud and the double heal from the mech and the Death Pulse. But yeah, they already used meta, so they can't really get anything off of it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why he did. Like, Miracle used that after the fight happened. So it's almost like you're either using this for farm or you think that this fight is still going to happen from EG. Which Sumail is trying it. Yule's up. Here comes your Terrorblade looking over towards Universe. Zai does get a good crush off, but so does Mind Control. A double versus a one, and GH, the perfect positioning. They put the Slardar down. Arteezy sunned it out, and with the Chain Frost, the damage is huge. EG, he infests into the one creep that's running next to him. Sumail did the damage to it. It was going to die anyway to the dire creep wave that was coming in. But Lifestealer will fall. The Blink Dagger is now followed by Matubberman, and 3 heroes with no buyback available. Team Liquid will push to the tier 2 tower potentially.
Just not enough burst for the Terrorblade at that point, because Lina had already committed her spells earlier to try and kill the Necrophos. So they just did not have enough.
They got so close though when they did it. No, it's just before this fight happened.
Yeah. So she already committed her volley to try and go for Miracle, and then Miracle gets a Sunder off like near half HP onto Arteezy.
Yeah. And Arteezy couldn't remain up. Like when that first Horfstomp came in, he had to rage to try and dodge what was coming at him. And then just executed at the end.
Yeah, they just used too many cooldowns to not kill the Necrophos that first time. So he actually did go for the Maelstrom over the Dezo, which I think is pretty important for him to go into the later game. I think Dezo would have been a big mistake versus the... You could also potentially, I think, go Diffusal versus the Necrophos to deal with the Ghost Shroud, but Diffusal is terrible versus the Terrorblade. So I think Maelstrom's a kind of nice mix where you can deal with the Terrorblade illusions and you can still deal decent damage against the Necrophos.
What do you think about the pickup of the Aether Lens onto Sumail? So
Aether Lens is really good on Lina. It makes the Dragon Slave ridiculously long, and it helps in two-shotting creep waves, which helps your efficiency a lot. So, and I like it. The Dragon, even the cast range on the Light Striker Way is really, really good. You don't really want to be that close to the fight because he's going to get Reapered a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to keep your distance against a Terrorblade. Like, imagine you're sitting on your high ground and Terrorblade illusions are over there. You just want to be able to spam out without being really at risk for Centaur being able to initiate on you before. Even CM could initiate on you at that point. So, Aether Lens is... the only problem is he might have to replace it pretty soon.
This looks too good. Like, well, the support was sort of nearby, but I think you can see from Sumail's hesitation to take that fight. It's not a gank for him. Universe can try and pull GH back, try and bring him in range of the double Iron Shell and GH. Well, he's been bait before. Universe has his own pipe to give him a little bit of protection. There's no other stun, or is there? No, there isn't. Matubberman was trying to go for the scythe to cancel it.
That was really close.
Even the Stampede being used to try and close the distance, but the Stampede came too late.
Yep. It seemed like he didn't really take any damage from that freezing field, too. It was a level 2 freezing field committed by the Crystal Maiden.
He triggered pipe.
Yeah.
Any kind of protection.
Pipe is really good for Dire side. Good against Necrophos, Chain Frost, CM.
Just got to avoid being locked down.
Yeah.
Actually, seeing Universe too, like I'm always a big fan of Universe having the big playmaker style heroes. That's why it's always great to see him play a Clockwork. Good mileage. And in this game, he's actually going in for a Shiva's Guard next. So there's no Blink Dagger. There's none of this like jump and team fight control coming from Universe, as opposed to just the, it's kind of like more the run at you or counter initiation, which he brings.
I wonder what he's going to go after. It looks like Shiva's on the Darkseer.
Yeah.
I have heard talks of an Echo Saber on the Darkseer with the plus damage talent. He has 120 damage talent at 15. He didn't get it this game. He got the health regen instead.
So you crap on the Lich DPS build, but you're all for a Darkseer DPS build.
Darkseer can actually get in there. He's tanky. And he's like kind of ignored in the fights after you cast your Vacuum Wall. Whereas a Lich, I don't know. You can't get Echo Saber unless you can get Dragonlance, but it's still pretty poor. I don't know. And he has like at least some mobility with Surge. It helps you farm. I don't know. It's it was theory crafted. I never said it was good. I'm saying it's a possibility.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that when you come up with theories, they normally become reality.
He has a Weave and Amplify.
Yeah,
but
he would survive for a while. There is no doubt about that. And EG are looking for more damage. But for the moment, he's going to go for teamfight control as the Universe style
It's too
of
late
control.
to commit after you've taken the 14 health regen talent. 14 health regen is a lot, but 120 damage is also a lot of damage.
It always feels weird, though, when you see the 14 health regen talent over on a Darkseer when you have your Tranquils and you've got your Pipe. So your regeneration, like you see him sitting at 35 a second already.
Yeah, that's the thing. Normally the 120 damage, I think, might be a little bit better, but
yeah, it just feels like you're just lacquering on a hell of a lot more, almost to a point where you have the Darkseer running around with the equivalent of a heart. Just obviously not as powerful, but still.
It's also
the
just a good item to get after you have your team fight items in your Blink, and then what? Normally you'll see like Shivas or Scythe or something like that, but I think Echo Saber is actually like a good transitioning.
What is that courier doing there? It's just sitting. It's the Radiant Courier sitting up at the side shop on the top lane.
Looks like someone's trying to finish their something. Good.
Yeah. What can you buy from the side shop unless you're keeping it there? Instead of having the secret shop. Anyway, we'll jump back into the fight. Hoof stomp straight forward. You already lost Zai. Arteezy will pop out, but with that fresh Skadi over on Miracle, Arteezy has no chance to run away. The Shallow Grave will protect him from that Reaper's Scythe, but it will not protect him from the Underworld. He'll be put down 1 minute without the Lifestealer, and Roshan is just about 35 seconds short of maximum spawn time. Liquid and not catching a break on the back of that fight win.
Meta's going to be down by the time Lifestealer respawns. So, yeah, Terrorblade's gotten to that point. He's uninterrupted free farm for like 25, 30 minutes that he's on top of the net worth, and he's pretty much unstoppable when it's metas and mantas. And we just saw Slaughter get destroyed. Yeah.
It didn't help that when his initiation came in, he was counter-initiated on first.
Yep.
So there was nothing that was really going to save him there.
There was no good target for him to jump anyways. But yeah, Roshan definitely going to be the next target. I would say that EG can sneak it in pretty easily because of the Amplify. I think they did build a medallion. There is a medallion on the Dazzle, so that definitely will speed it up by a few seconds.
I'm actually so happy to see Darkseer change this one. And I'm wondering if Universe has done that just because of this timing of Roshan. He's picked up the Blink Dagger on the Darkseer. So he's going to have that positional advantage now. At the same time, fresh item up for Team Liquid. That Aghanim Scepter is now on the Necro. And in goes EG. Once again, the Observer Ward sees everything. But the Weave triggered nice and early, so if Liquid want to fight this one, they're going up against ever-increasing armor. Scatting out with the illusions. Roshan is just being punched one by one by one. They don't want to commit. Matabaman's going to jump in. Who's going to get it? Dai will take it, and Arteezy has the Aegis, but the double stop, and then back into a three-man wall is perfect. Mind Control barely alive. It's only the Necro to drop. Okay, he'll actually die almost to the fall. But it'll be Arteezy's poor swipe, cleaving the flesh from Mind Control's hide.
Yeah, Miracle didn't have meta. He's really reluctant to go in without meta, as you can see in a lot of these fights, and it really costs them. Arteezy pre-raged, so they couldn't really stop him unless they wanted to Reaper him during the Roshan kill. I actually think that might have been worth it if they were able to sneak the Aegis onto the pretty much any of those heroes, Centaur or Necrophos, before. Ideally the Necrophos, and then Life Stealers without his rage with no one to infest near the pit. But that was a... that's really unfortunate for Liquid with the Roshan respawn, though.
Yeah. Well, Liquid have to try and now defend as EG have the advantage. Still 20 seconds before Liquid are back at full strength with 5 players. And the damage from that almost sniper-like Lina brings the tier 3 tower down to 50%, and EG will back up. They're happy with this. They haven't brought down the tower yet, so they can't start taking out shrines.
RTZ needs a way to heal up. He's not really in fighting shape right now. A Blink Reaper could catch him off guard and just kill him. He does have the Aegis, I suppose, so unlikely that he's actually going to be focused down on the next fight. So first fight was Liquid with meta. The fight where Liquid won, the fight that EG won, there was no meta. So need to see a fight on even terms. I guess EG has the Aegis now, so not completely even. 10% magic resistance over plus 5% spell amp. Necrophos' job is actually just to survive in fights.
Yep.
Your Heartstopper is like half your damage.
Well, resistance makes sense then going up against Lina.
Yeah. But at this point, though, they might be more willing to focus everything onto the Terrorblade. So they might need more damage output from the Necrophos because Terrorblade is such a high priority in the fights.
Well, now the Terrorblade's finished up the Butterfly. They have to use all the magical burst damage to try and bring him down.
Yeah.
There's still 2.5k life they have to get through.
They really need to Ags on Centaur. If they once they get Ags on Centaur, Terrorblade should be able to get a Sunder off most of the time.
Yeah, you see what he's also building into. Even though it's got nerfed, he's still going to enjoy the range for it. The Hurricane Pike is the other build coming in for the Terrorblade. So once he completes that, he'll have the distance play against the Lifestealer.
It's going to be really tough I think it's tough for both sides. It's tough for Terrorblade to actually survive, to get his Sunder off, and on the Dire side, it's really hard to like chain all their stuns properly. Like if he's low, they could potentially like Yules him to another stun. Do they have the coordination to do that, or they go like,
Centaur, Stampede, Horf Stomp. They found a big target as Sumail. Shallow Grave will make sure that the Scythe won't do its work. Sumail will still die. 30 seconds on the sideline. But no buyback available, and it looks like Liquid are saying, you know what, let's actually get a tower we should have taken maybe 20 minutes ago. That bottom tier 1 tower.
They'd have to backdoor it, though. There's no creep wave at all.
Luckily, no backdoor tier 1, so you're good there, bro. But mid lane push.
Lena's up in 15, though. So
yeah,
they'll get, like, what, 5, 10 seconds.
Wait, they got Metamorphosis as well. Another
actually, yeah.
quick crush.
They had meta on it.
Yeah. They didn't have to commit anything really for it, so now you just push in, look to the tier 3 tower. Glyph not really available. They actually do bring it down, so this will open up the outside shrines.
This is where you ask whether or not the 80 Light Striker rate damage was worth the
30 seconds
timer.
miss time.
Yeah.
He would have been up 4 seconds after he died, but Tubberman's going to get Glimmer caped up. Still has to stick around. Wants the Blink Dagger to come off cooldown, and it will. Blinks away at the same time as Zai jumps forward. He held on to that for half a second, almost baiting out the initiation from Zai.
Zai was waiting for him to blink, and then he was going to blink and chase after him. So that was a really good play by Matumba to not put his team in a really compromising position. It could have been really bad. They were really close to their shrine and just not really in a good position to fight, although they did still have meta up on Miracle.
Someone's been stocking tomes. I think I just saw 3 purchased up by the Lich.
I'm trying to see if anyone's close to an important talent. I don't think so on the Radiant side.
Does he use them all? Is Kuro now just going to like skyrocket himself up? So he'll go from just shy of 16. And he's 17 and a quarter with the Laguna Blade. But Tolman's still going to tank through the initiation of EG. And Miracle, he wants to fight this. Metamorphosis again. That damage from range. Zai's got no way to run away from this. They even trigger off the Stampede. And they get the Scythe down too. 80 seconds without Zai. You'll remove the Dazzle. Both supports lost for EG. And both do not have buyback. This should be mid-racks.
Meta's committed. Let's see how long is left on meta. It's half duration, so still have a good 20 seconds on it. And
they bring in, how far away is that creep wave?
There actually is a
It's
Dire
still
side.
a long way away. So this time, like, the backdoor regeneration is going to be a bit of a problem. A little bit of a problem until you get the Vac Wall double Light Strike Array. Miracle is dropping quickly. He's got the Sunder available. Trades alive with Universe. Universe searches himself away back past the tier 4 towers. Another Light Strike Array control from Sumail. stopping Miracle from attacking. He's got to walk back through his own wall. Laguna Blade, but Tumberman barely surviving. The Light Strike Array will connect. He's held in position. He still needs to survive. Maybe with the Hoof Stomp, the damage from the side. They bring down Arteezy, but the cost is still the Necro. Universe once more. Surge forward. The Yule Scepter up. Light Strike Array. A little bit of miscommunication on the timing as GH invis, thanks to his own little Glimmer Cape. The Sentry Ward doesn't reveal him, and GH the TP. They don't know. They don't get him inside the trees. GH will get away by the skin of his teeth.
Oof. They allowed the Terrorblade to get Thunder off that fight. I think he probably could have used them and then waited for another stun cooldown, but that would have been a really big kill on Miracle. And they trade the big cores, Necrophos for the Life Stealer. I don't think that was actually a Reaper kill because they're both respawning at the same time. He did have a sliver of health right before he hit the deck. But I don't even think they had to fight there. I think they could have waited a little bit because there was still backdoor regen on the range racks.
But you could see the amount of damage the Terrorblade was pumping in. Maybe they just was like, okay,
they saw it
have
glyph.
enough.
They saw it glyph though.
Okay.
So
well, we're going to watch it again anyway. So this is Matumberman escaping at the very, very start. A lot of control.
And just a severe lack of detection too. Like they have no sentry wards to make a quick and easy kill on the Necrophos, and then no sentry wards for the Crystal Beta until a little bit too late. They dropped it right when she left that area.
I'm not sure if we actually flagged it during the middle of that fight too. The Centaur picked up the Aghanim Scepter. He didn't use Aghanim's buff Stampede during it because it came after that point. But it's something to note for the next fight.
Terrorblade is going to be a problem. Same with Necrophos. These are heroes that you want to burst out. You have to burst them down very quickly, or else like Terrorblade's just going to rip into you.
He actually moved away from the Hurricane Pike. He had it in his quick buy before, but he gets a monkey. He gets an MKB instead.
Solar Crest is the only source of evasion. Let's see, Darkseer even went for the cast range talent, so no evasion there. Yeah, it's actually just for Solar Crest, I think.
Happy to have the mini bash.
Oh,
Hoof Stomp in towards the mid. They initiate onto Sumail. Frostbite's out as well. A quick little Yule Scepter up. More defensive. And Miracle, he commits the Metamorphosis. Ooh, so this has to be a push down the mid now.
That blink was so close to being canceled by that right click. That was... Sumail was playing with fire there.
Yeah, we're in the same position again. This time, though, Team Liquid do have the aggressive Observer Ward and Sentry sitting inside the base of EG. The Sentries are placed, but of course, one committal of... Okay, yep, now he'll bring that one down. They lose the Observer Ward, a good Light Strike Array, plus the wall, so they can hold Miracle in position and then make it Miracle on Miracle action. And then with Laguna Blade, Miracle still down low, but Hoof Stomp, they're trying to catch one of them out. Miracle still doesn't have that target. He wants to sunder someone else. He already has. He doesn't have any more life. They have to push him away and use the site to hold Arteezy in position, but it's too late. Miracle will fall. Support is there with Zygain, the double crush. Mind Control will fall down too, and Kuro will join him. 3 heroes lost, no buybacks available again. This is going to happen where EG have a window to push.
What a sick Lincoln's pickup by Sumail. He blinked in, Laguna to him.
What is CM doing?
Oh my god.
CM is still back at the base trying to creep skip this out. So Zai gets a first slide into bash on GH. He's just trying to stall up time. He has buyback available. At least got Zai to move away, but really, 2-on-5, this could be difficult.
The item decisions from EG were really good this game too. Like, Miracle tried to turn around and right-click Arteezy, but he got hit by a Mjolnir lightning proc. It killed him. And then the Lincolns put Miracle in that position in the first place. And that's going to be an easy rack, likely 2 sets. And Miracle's still in the grave for 30 seconds. They got so much damage on the Miracle in that first wave. He was at like 50% before, and I'm not sure when the Stampede came out, but it was not when he was like at half HP.
Yeah, it felt very non-existent actually in the fights, more than anything else.
That Lincoln Sphere. Oh,
so
that's
they
a game-winning Lincoln Sphere right there.
They'll still end at 2 lanes of racks, so EG will back up. You cannot underestimate Team Liquid at this point. It's still a Terrorblade. Maybe next time he can push with a creep wave so backdoor regen doesn't stop it. But we might be getting to a point soon where Team Liquid are forced to do something a little bit more rash. As you can see, that swing just dives the way of the EG side.
They have to do something very soon. Roshan it just respawned. It's been 10.5 minutes since the last respawn, so
the Illusion's scouting it out now.
Illusion's
so
got it.
Liquid
Dire also kind of knows that it's up. It's very high probability, like over 80% that it's up right now. So,
well, Team Liquid can't really bring it down yet.
Oh, what did he TP back for?
Wait, yeah, did he go all the way? Dazzle TP'd all the way back, and I think he did underneath the Illusion.
He TP'd back to get the Observer wards, and Liquid, they are going to smoke up. Are they going to try and sneak Rosh themselves? Doesn't seem like they really
and maybe
want
just
to.
smoked for movement speed to get back to Roshan. Like, Liquid ping out the fact that Roshan is up, but they're smoked up and waiting next to the shrine. So if EG come and they scuttle themselves to get over there, the smoke will break from both sides. Arteezy on the front lines, but Matoma and Mind Control, they miss their initiations, and a huge back wall from Universe, catching out 4 of them. Matoma and BKB will try and protect them, but they've already lost Kuro. The Sun's on the back line. Maybe Miracle is the bigger one. Zai gets the crush. He's protected right now by the Lincoln Sphere, and Miracle, he needs a target. He'll have to sunder his own teammate, Mind Control, and the damage is still too much. Mind Control will jump back in again, but he was the sacrificial, very large lamb of meat. 3 heroes lost for Liquid. They're going to find as well GH in the tree lines. He's starting his TP. Now they see him. Now he's dead. 4 heroes gone for Liquid, and EG could end this right here, right now.
Beautiful vacuum wall from Universe to set up that fight. Arteezy actually has hid inside a wall of replica illusion for some of that fight too. They were trying to focus him down during the rage, but it took them way too long to do so. And
safety megas, or is GG push?
Is GG.
And they'll realize there's no buybacks from Team Liquid, and Team Liquid will admit defeat in Game 1 of this 2-game series. EG, they have done it for Game 1.
I think the Alina really pieced it all together for them. I think Sumail played very, very well. A little bit risky with the Light Strike Array over the
it's okay.
They comboed very well though, like the Light Strike Array into Vacuum a couple of times that we saw, but the way he handled the Sunder was pretty incredible. He dumped the Lincolns on the Slaughter, and Miracle was like, everyone else is out of range, it's just Slaughter, and then he had to Sunder a teammate, which just leaves his teammate to die, and then everyone just runs in after the Sunder is up. That was very pretty to watch.
That was perfect positioning from EG in the fights, and they're definitely looking very, very strong. Team Liquid, they had a lot to work with as well. They went for slightly unconventional picks.
I think the Midas has actually held them back a lot. The Lich had only Solar Crest after the Midas at the end of the game, and Necrophos, if he had that blink inside the Roche pit, things would have been a lot different.
And well, he didn't. And EG take game number 1. Of course, I cannot wait to come back for game number 2. We'll be back after this short panel time. Not a break. Information from panel.
Thanks very much, Toby. Yes, we'll go back to Toby and Malini for game 2, of course. Another victory for Evil Geniuses. And what can stop the steamroller for day 2 for the boys in blue? We'll find out, I guess, as we head into game number 2. PPD, we'll start with you. Another win for EG. Wasn't quite as straightforward as the ones earlier on. A little bit drawn out. And Liquid, for most of the game, seemed to be, in the game still.
Yeah, I was disappointed they didn't show the post-game Liquid camera. That was a pretty big throw, I think, there at the end. I think that game was kind of in Liquid's control for a long time, and they walked uphill, and Miracle didn't have buyback, and all of a sudden they're down 2 sets of racks. EG's every single one of their players has a new item, and the game,
kind of got away from Liquid, didn't it?
It was a really good game.
Yeah.
The whole thing was great. Like, it was a ton of back and forth. It was a constant battle of EG running this like Nakes and Slardar combination, and Liquid, trying to find a way to deal with it. I talked about them picking some sort of like defensive support, but they didn't really go for that. They picked Lich, which gave some frost armor, but then they picked this Terrorblade, which can, if he survives the combo, he can get a Sunder off and turn it around, or they picked Necrophos, who can make himself ethereal after the Slardar crush and can survive that way. So it was like a different approach, which was really cool. But yeah, tons of back and forth, and I don't know, I think EG's found something here with Arteezy playing Lifestealer, playing like a very supportive carry, getting active early and enabling Sumail, who is just playing out of his mind today.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because that's the 3rd game in a row they've put Arteezy on the Lifestealer. He doesn't look particularly thrilled at the idea, but at the same time, he's delivering a very important role within the team.
I've played competitively for a long time, and winning solves
Winning
solves
solves
the
everything.
Okay.
So it's way more fun to win with the same hero every game.
Yeah.
Than to lose with
The same
playing.
hero.
With different heroes that
Oh,
you enjoy
different
playing,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's like TF5, Fear Play Gyrocopter 4 games in a row.
Yes.
He didn't enjoy it, but we won.
He didn't look like a man who enjoyed it, but he enjoyed winning.
Exactly.
So yeah, point proven. Yeah, I mean, late game wise, the team fights that EG chose Shiva were great, weren't they? And they executed them really well.
It was a fight where Team Liquid, they have a lot of sustain, obviously with the Necrophos there as well, where you have to know when to take a fight and when you're just overstaying your welcome. And they did EG did a really good job at weaving in and out of the fight and re-engage whenever they could. And more importantly, I felt that the positioning was really strong because
It's the lighting proc.
so close. The position was really good. First of all, crit in range with the Graves every time was needed. Obviously, they picked Necrophos into a Dazzle, which already is not the best. But they didn't pick Necrophos mostly for the ultimate anyway, for the Reaper Scythe. But crit on point every time. And EG was just able to spread out Liquid. They couldn't group up and heal and fight all the time. They were on the run a lot. And then, you see Matuma Man there. It's like, should I go in? Should I not go in? Should I not go in? Should I not go in? And then...
Yeah, it was really dependent on whether or not Tablet was going to get the Sunder off, but Slaughter came in with the Lincolns put on him by, I think, Sumail put it on him, and Sumail was just too far away, and then Arteezy almost ran in with Lifestealer, but then was like, no. He's going to Sunder, so he backed out, and then as soon as Sunder was cast on the Centaur, Arteezy went in and killed him.
Yeah,
so.
very, very patient as well from
Yes.
EG, because at any point they could have lost that match in the last 10 minutes or so with a poor team fight.
Well, I honestly think they were in a position to lose that game,
Right.
and then they just kind of bunkered down and waited for Liquid to make a mistake, and there was a mistake, and Liquid's got to be, kicking themselves in the butt for that game. And I think it's gonna be really tough for them to come back and turn it around in game 2.
But what made them be in that position in the first place? Because the laning stage was won by EG. They did really well.
Was it?
The only one that got farm was Miracle, and okay, it's Miracle still. But overall, EG was not doing bad on the farm at all, and I thought they were looking fairly healthy. I mean, look at that. Universe never died the entire game.
Yeah, they did relatively well. I think it was a little bit deceptive because the Lich created like a really big experience advantage. So even though there were a couple kills on the map, Merlini mentioned it during the cast. You pulled up the graphs, and the gold was kind of even-ish, but Liquid was like 3,000 or 4,000 experience ahead in the early game. And then I think where Liquid kind of got ahead was GH in that offlane on Crystal Maiden. Like he baited Arteezy like 2 or 3 times, and with the usage of like the Centaur ult, they just were making a ton of big plays, and having the Necrophos like Reaper Scythe to cancel out Nyx's life or Rage TP, like that was super useful too throughout the game.
MVP for either of you?
Universe.
Sumail. It's a Sumail show today.
Is that what we're just
Come on,
Universe?
He had amazing vacuums. He didn't die. He didn't die.
That's expected. All right,
I win.
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
It is not often that I win, especially.
I mean,
against,
to be fair, whilst we rightly raved about Sumail in this game and the previous 2 games that he played earlier on today, Universe was not that far behind in terms of MVP worthiness in both the previous games that he played as well.
Sumail already got MVPs earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just balancing the world of MVPing.
Yeah,
Just,
I like
evening it up.
Sure. I don't know. I'm super impressed by Sumail. I've yet to see a more influential player in this tournament of all the games I've watched. His games on Invoker this morning, and then Lina just now. I feel like he's just really.
I mean, I don't know.
Pulling more weight than he should have to.
Even yesterday, when they weren't particularly playing well as
yesterday,
a team, he was still playing well.
Yesterday, well, he was playing Alchemist, and he was playing different heroes, but now they have this like Lifestealer.
I'm just trying to keep you in check here, Peter.
Arteezy is enabling Sumail to play the way Sumail. This is exactly how Sumail wants to play. He wants to play flashy heroes, and he wants to buy high mobility items. And
I just want to see another Storm Spirit from him.
If only.
We might. I mean, it's possible. We could get it. I think the hero's a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
But we saw it.
When Blitz says
somebody
it's trash, then you're kind of like, okay, if Blitz is saying it's trash, then no one's playing it.
Yeah, maybe.
Someone did pick it yesterday.
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah, there was one yesterday.
Yeah.
That was what Slacks was raving about.
Yeah,
was the Ags Storm Spirit who got like a
the
5-man
Ravage at the end. Yeah.
thing.
Crazy. We're going to move into game 2 very shortly, but we will take some more social media questions. Keep them coming. We do enjoy them, and we'll continue to pose them to our various panels throughout the day. This one is, why do some teams prioritise MK while others fully ignore it? Peter?
I think it's a comfort thing. I think it's, these teams have practiced it. These players specifically have been probably spamming it in pubs, and, we all can hate them for that. But we've seen, I think both IG teams in Group B are like prioritizing it heavy, and they both have amazingly good Monkey King players, whereas other teams just aren't too familiar with it or haven't felt the need to play it just yet.
Empire played it quite a bit yesterday.
Maybe it doesn't
well
fit their
well.
playstyle.
Yeah.
You do need to be able to give up one support for the cause of roaming, which is good if your team is used to it. But if you don't normally do that, you need to practice with it.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah. Have you seen a region thing around it yet? Have you seen specific regions prioritizing perhaps?
We saw Empire play it well. We saw China play it well. I know Zai plays it really well, but we haven't seen it from EG yet. I don't think NP would play it. It would be like an SVG hero, so I don't know about North America. But we do have a 2-day break after the group stages, and
you can guarantee what they'll be all playing.
We can see a lot. We might see a lot of 4 players practicing their Monkey King.
I think we will. Let's take another social media question before we head into our second draft of our match. This one: if you want to build a team, do you pick Sumail, Miracle to build around? We were sort of talking about this before, weren't we? Would you prefer, if you had unlimited funds and you said, right, build the best Dota team in the world, would you build them around one player? Would you pick one player and prioritize like a Sumail or a Miracle or an Ana and build the whole team around them? Or would you try and pick the best players for their positions, maybe knowing that they wouldn't play so well as a team? I guess this is the ultimate team secret question from 2 years ago.
Sure. Well, I think one of the most important things is definitely to have that kind of like polarizing Sumail Miracle player, but I think also a really strong like captain who can kind of make everyone play around that player and like kind of connect everyone's ideas, because every single player on EG has a certain way that they want to play, and Crit's job as a captain is to kind of bring it all together and make sure that they each can continue to play they want to play. We dabbled around with the idea of when we had our tour in Sumail, and we were like, oh, maybe Sumail should go safe lane and our tour should go mid. But then a couple series later, Sumail's like, I'm a mid player. Like, I want to go mid. I want to beat that guy 1v1. And when he's playing safe lane, it's just a little too boring for him. He really wants to.
But wasn't Arteezy like that as well?
Arteezy's changed. I think, yeah. I think there was a time and a place where he started playing like Naga and Terrorblade in the safe lane. He was like, I kind of like this. I like farming for 60 minutes.
I like gold.
And then from there on out, he was a carry player.
Yeah,
true.
I do remember some of the early games of Shadow Fiend of him being ridiculously good.
He is an awesome mid player. He still is, and he could return to that. But when you have Sumail on your team, he gets to go mid.
Yeah, is that as much a battle of who's great? Is it a battle of egos as well?
Well, I think Sumail is a huge ego. He's a very cocky player, which I think benefits him.
You need to be if you play mid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, Arteezy is a big ego as well. Less than he used to as well?
I don't know.
Did that change as well?
I think that.
Do you think Artur has mellowed?
For sure. Well, yeah. I mean, he's definitely grown up.
Okay.
You've seen the beard; it's grown. But I think that Artur could learn and become a mid player again, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think Sumail could be a carry player.
Right.
That's why when we talked about we did a question a couple days ago where I said hey, swap the roles up. I don't think Sumail could play anything.
So why are those players out there? Because there are players out there who are hugely experienced. Demon springs to mind. Eternal Envy springs to mind. Players that have played almost every position, if not all positions, including support roles, 4s and 5s. How are they able to transition so well through different teams and different eras and different patches and play all positions?
Survival. You
Just staying in the game. I'll play support if I can play for you.
Yeah, I mean,
is this like I don't know whether American football's like this, but in English football, if you start off as a striker, as a youngster, as you get older, you find actually your brain gets better, but your legs get worse, so you become a midfielder. And then the later you get into your 30s, you become a defender because you can kind of sit back and not run around. And then if you're really bad, you become a substitute. You just can't get on the field anymore. Is that like it is for Dota players as they get older? You start off as a mid and you end up as a 5?
There's definitely some truth to that. We've seen some of the best carry players, I think of MMY. Who I don't think is playing at this tournament, but in the past he is. He was originally like a carry and a core player, and now he's known as like one of the greatest support players of all time.
I mean, Fear as an example. He's played
Fear's
every
played
position
every
under
role
the
as well,
sun.
hasn't he? Yeah.
And I don't think
And
that's
captain,
necessarily
drafter.
a survival, but yeah, as a captain as well, he played what the team needed. I guess that makes sense.
I mean, we're talking about different caliber of players. You're comparing Fear to like Demon and Eternal Envy.
Wow.
There's
Okay,
a,
I'm
See,
sorry.
that's so
it's
hectic.
not like that's not like a shots fired kind of thing. That's a
No.
fact.
No, I know
Okay.
that is true, but at the same time, it is one of the players that Paul hints at. It's like one of the players that somehow can do everything,
Yeah.
and that
So
That-
why do you get those? But
that has
you get
nothing to
someone
do
like
with
Sumail
age
who are just like
or survival.
Because Sumail is the best. He doesn't have to go play support.
okay. So Fear is not the best. Okay, that's what I'm hearing here.
If Sumail wasn't good enough to compete with other mids and he felt like he had to play support in order to stay competitive and make money and play Dota for a career, then maybe that would be an option for him.
That's not what Clint thought, though, is it?
Well, it was different because Clinton was on a team
Right.
and we had new players come in. And
So he decided to do what the team needed rather than what he wanted to
Exactly.
do. Yeah.
out of necessity
Yeah.
for the team.
It's very interesting. I find it fascinating how some players are able to transition, no matter what their skill level or how highly you rate them. But they are able to transition to other roles, and yet some just aren't.
I think there's just a level in play, just level in being a player, level in personality that doesn't matter. Like if you would put Fear on a different game, I think he would do really well as well. It's not necessarily.
We're on to a whole new
could-
subject here, but I agree with you. Loader is another one of those
Yeah,
players
you
who I've
can-
watched play other games and just go, how is he so good at every damn game he
It's
plays?
just- it's
Forest
just-
in Counter-Strike,
it's just in
same
him.
thing. You watch him play Dota or you watch him play League, he's unbelievably good. He's like